Hey, what's up, everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I did my therapy session with Lydia. It went very well. She suggested me check out a book. I don't remember exactly the name of it. Something Crisis. I got it saved up in my Amazon, so I'll purchase it when I get an opportunity to. But I overbooked. I booked for the exact day I'm going to be returning to the room 3 weeks from now. So that is something I'm going to have to try to reach her in regards to and schedule. I tried calling, they didn't answer, so yeah, but I may be able to actually make that appointment, because a lot of times, especially with new management here at the studio lodge, I'm usually able to get checked in and sorted through by noon, and I don't really have to leave the house until around noon, like 12:15, 12:20. So if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, I can actually make that appointment. So I'll give it some thought. If it makes any sense to actually reschedule. So yeah, feeling pretty good. This is good to have a couple of days in a row. I'm actually getting some exercise. I still have 2 playlists to do art for, but you know, the stuff that I've been doing out here is more important to me at this point. Getting groceries and meeting my appointments and stuff like that. So feeling good, man. Everything's paid for the motel room on Sunday. That extraction went through just fine this morning, so I don't have to worry about that. And what else? Everything is pretty solid, I guess, for me. Still not feeling 100%. I've been having issues with my stomach, as I told you, since Thanksgiving, but right now, like I said, the exercise I'm getting, I think, is really helpful. So yeah, man, been ramping up my push-ups a little more. Kind of weaned off of them over the last couple of months, but I've been trying to get back into that mode where I'm doing 4 and 5 sets a day. So this is what I'm hoping to see the benefits of that. So hopefully that works out for me as I go forward. Stay motivated. But yeah, man, it's a really nice day. The weather couldn't be more perfect right now. It was a little warm, but nothing too serious. And right now it's just about probably like 70 degrees. It's awesome weather right now. So looking forward to getting home and maybe working on one of those playlists or doing some hundreds blue workout, which I've been really slacking off on. We'll see how I feel when I get in the house. I probably won't do it today again. Probably opt to pick one of them playlists and do the art for it. But yeah, man, I don't know if there's anything new to share with you guys in regards to the different things that I've been paying attention to. I've been seeing less and less from what's going on in Gaza, because they done killed off just about everybody who was showing us what was happening in real time out there. I'm sure there are people still doing so, but they really have effectively killed off most of the people who were boots on the ground, showing us what is happening there, and have shut off the algorithm to where we don't really see much of what's going on in that area anymore. So if you wonder why I haven't seen or talked about anything that I've seen, it's because they've done a much better job of suppressing that than they did at the beginning of the genocide. But we know that they're still probably doing some of the same stuff, if not worse, especially when they know people aren't watching. They're probably treating these people even worse. But I think we all saw what we needed to see. I think most of us, 2 years of this was enough to know that it didn't stop. I don't need to see it to know that it didn't stop. I don't need to see what's going on there to know that they're doing awful stuff. They've already proven that that's what they do, whether we're watching or not. And the genocide continues because there's still Palestinians walking around. So they definitely want to continue killing those people. So yeah, man, just continue to pray for those folks over there and pray for everybody in it. I'm sure they'll land on them, as I often say. But now I've been, of course, as usual, paying attention to everything going on with the Charlie Kirk situation, Candace Owens and all of that. I feel like those who are behind what happened to that man are definitely, they have a lot of power, and they're trying to throw a lot of distractions at her, at Candace, because I believe she's getting close. She's been investigating a few things that are getting deep, real deep, into who possibly did what and who was behind it. And as soon as she starts digging into certain things, all of a sudden she's got a wave of distractions coming at her. People just crapping all over her name, giving her things to react to that deviate away from the conversations that she was having, that didn't have her addressing people, but more so addressing evidence that she's finding and leads that she's been finding. And I think that's really what it is. She's getting close. So they're ramping up the personal attacks and trying to get her to divert away from the focus and the exposure of what she's finding in those leads. So that's what I've been noticing. And Candace is, I think she's 36, something like that. She's still a young woman, still young, and they know that if they press the right buttons, they can at least buy themselves some time. That's really what it comes down to. They know she's got a #1 podcast to keep going, and she's probably going to jump at the best opportunity to have great content right now to keep that going. And she just needs to be wise not to take the bait, in my opinion. They're going to continue to try to get you to, hey, look at this, pay attention to this, look at this person talking about you, look at that person talking about you. Yeah, spend 15-minute segments of your show doing that instead of investigating these planes and then investigating these different people wearing maroon and all this different stuff that she's been pointing out that was going on in that situation. So I would tell her the best way to get back at these people is to stay focused. Is to not react to whatever personal attacks they're throwing at you. It's not to shut up in any way because you're close to something. And the way they're acting is showing us that you're very close. My question is, what happens when we expose whatever it is to expose? Who's going to hold the people accountable with the evidence that's provided? That's the question. We know international law is a myth. Israel's been breaking international law, so we can't expect that our government, whom she's exposing, is likely behind a lot of what happened in that Charlie Kirk situation. It's definitely not going to hold itself accountable. They're going to investigate themselves and deem themselves innocent of all wrongdoing, per usual. So I'm just curious to know, like, what happens once everything is exposed? Then what? That's my curiosity. But for now, I can tell you, man, it looks crazy. Our American government and our armed forces look like they could potentially have done something here in this situation. And, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. That's why they want to shut her up. So they got this Erica Kirk lady up here calling her out. Got some Tim Pool guy, he calling her out. Everybody's trying to get her to react to them calling her out. And I'm finding it to be really, really convenient distractions for buying of time and covering of backsides as they try to just find some footing in regards to all that she's been exposing. And that's all it is. And that's exactly what she needs to know. They're trying to buy some time. You didn't expose some real stuff. You have blown up not only what it is you're looking into, but probably 7 or 8 different other things that you don't even know you've exposed. Just because you may not know what you've exposed doesn't mean the people who are paying attention to you may not be the ones who need to know that information, who've had that information hidden from them. All different types of things in regards to national security have probably been exposed. Just from some of the stuff that she's been pointing, she's connecting dots to things that are not even in relation to what she's looking at. I know that for certain because I know this is the environment for which such things exist. It's the same idea I have about why snitching is so harmful in the streets. It's like, well, if the guy is dead, it don't matter, I snitch on him. Well, you're connecting a dot to a different board. And anytime you snitch to the feds or to the cops about any damn thing, you're connecting dots on the board. You're giving them answers to questions that they have in others' cases. They can eliminate certain variables based on the information you provide, regardless of what you're talking about, because everything is connected. And so it's very important that people who are out there who have something to lose understand that that is the variable that very few people have been able to actually articulate why snitching is so harmful. Well, it don't matter if I snitch on these people. I was listening to someone say something along the lines of, in certain cultures, without naming names, certain people don't mind that you snitch on other people so long as you don't snitch on your own. Well, that doesn't take into account what it is I just described. They should be very concerned if anybody snitches on anybody in that environment. Moving that way is flawed, is severely flawed, and highly manipulatable. You don't tell on your own, but you could tell on them people. That's not smart. That's not smart. You should not support any snitching if you're out there in that environment. Not people snitching on your friends, not people snitching on your enemies, not people snitching on random people. None of that should be accepted in your environment if you're outside, because all they're trying to do is connect not only what's going on in your situation, but what's going on in many other situations, to create different parts of a new story that they're ultimately trying to get the answers to. So if you weren't here on so-and-so day, then you might have been there, and they might have been looking at an entirely different situation in regards to whatever is going on in that situation. You're answering questions and you're filling in blanks. So that's why I say, you know what? When it comes to the situation with Candace Owens, same exact template of thought. She is exposing answers to different equations that she doesn't even intend to expose. And certain people who are paying attention to this situation are like, wait a minute. And they go back to their drawing board in regards to what they're looking at, and they say, yo, so what she found out gives us the answer to this situation over here. This is what we were looking at in regards to an entirely different situation. And now we have an answer. Okay. And that sends them down another rabbit hole that connects to other different things that you are likely to think for that being the case. So, you know, as a civilian, I just say, one of the reasons why I'm so very pleased with my upbringing and my walk of life is that I'm not out there toying around with those type of webs. I'm not on anybody's big board in regards to any dang thing at all. Nor am I pressured to tell anybody what I saw or didn't see about any damn thing, because I ain't out there. Now, you may call me a square. I call me free. Freedom to the best of the ability of a person like me. And that's worth all the money you're earning outside, my friend. That freedom is worth a lot more to me than whatever temporary riches you may be getting out here while you in that environment for which to snitch or to spend the rest of your life in jail, to snitch, potentially get yourself hurt because of doing so or worse, and not. Trust me, it's so much easier on this side of being a square. Our lives are better. Our lives are freer. And that is ultimately what it is. And a lot of people who are out there playing those games, they don't know what they're dealing with in that regard. They think they know what they're looking at, but they don't see the full picture. And even if they do see what they think is the full picture, there's more to it. A lot of times they neglect in their arrogance and in their quest for whatever it is they're trying to get out there. Respect, money, combination of both, whatever. That they end up being casualties to the environment. And that's what ends up happening to a lot of them. They get in too deep. Now they out here acting, wearing masks that are unnecessary to their character, just to keep things together so that they don't lose themselves and others to violence that comes from messing up in those areas. No, I'm cool. It's a lot of people faking it out there. One lie gives birth to another lie, gives birth to another lie, gives birth to infinite lies. Nah. And then you wonder why people are sitting here standing on lies, because they're trying to keep everything else from falling apart. Even if you figure this out, if they stand on a lie, you don't figure out the other lies that are attached to that lie or adjacent to that lie. Same thought that we were talking about in regards to this video. And sit up here wondering, well, why are these people lying when they know we can fact check the truth? Because they got to stand on posture in regards to different other things that are unrelated to what it is that they're lying about in your face, but still must be upheld so they can keep the lies up that they're telling the people who still believe them in other areas of life. And at least if this one gets figured out, they can still stand on the lie, the bigger lies behind them, or the other adjacent lies. And they can run back to whoever their secrets are held with in those situations and say, see, I upheld the bargain. It's all godless, man. And in this American environment, we call that politics. Street politics and governmental politics. It's that environment for which people are pretending, faking, standing on some lies to hide other lies, gaslighting people, hoping that it works. Committing to likely hurt themselves if it all goes to dirt. That's what ends up happening. So, this is why we need to purge ourselves of that for which thinks it's better than us, who controls our government, because they give birth to that environment. They can't exist without that environment. There's no truth. The truth is the enemy of the people who control, who call us the goy. They are the epitome of people who cannot stand to not live in the environment of politics. If those politics don't exist, everything that they are about fall apart. Everything. All of it. So, that's what I believe Candace is actually exposing. She's exposing them at their core. A lot of what it is that they got going on underneath the surface is what she's ultimately plucking at. She's plucking at a lot of that. And, it's gonna come down to, in my humble opinion, war. People just having to defend themselves at the end of the day. Because what does an entity like that do when he can't control you? He goes on a genocide killing spree. He kill anybody that doesn't bow down to him. That's really what it comes down to. And they still want to be civil for the most part. They want to be, so long as they can continue lying to you and keep on messing with you in whatever way they want to mess with you, because that's a comfortable environment for them. You know, in a war-torn environment, they can't do all the things that they love to do in this world, moving around comfortably. Now they gotta move as if they're at war, and that is not a comfortable way to live, especially when you have it all under control and everybody's just, allowing you to do all the evil stuff you want to do. In a world where they're not allowed to do all the stuff they want to do, and all their lies are being exposed, now it becomes, we gotta hurt people to maintain our control and to defend themselves from that from which will be wrath from those who've been wronged by these people, which is most people. Most people have been wronged by these people. So it's going to come down to likely violence and war, civil wars and many kinds. Basically everything that's written in Revelations, more or less. So that's what it's gonna probably come down to. They're gonna lose millions of people over this crap because there's no other way they're gonna let it be. There's no other way they operate. That's the God's honest truth. They don't know how to operate no other way. It was never meant for them to operate no other way. It was either them controlling us and we bowing to them, and them continue to feed us poison, allowing them to blame everybody else, play the victim and all different types of stuff. It was either that or what they're doing to the Palestinian people. No either or. There's the only two ways they were going to ever operate. And it's a damn shame, because at some point in time, one of these generations got to fight that war. One of these generations are going to be the casualties to that war. So that's what it is, man. If we really want to know the truth, I don't know if it's these kids that are alive today or it's going to be their kids, or I don't know how soon, or what, if it's going to be us. It may not even be that long. I don't know, but I don't see no other way this go. I really don't. But there's a living God in the sky. I've told you I believe in him. He's proven himself to me a million times. I don't know what his plan is. I'm just telling you what it looks like to me. It can go a lot of different ways. I don't know what's going to happen. But based on what it is I see and the logic that I have in my head, those people don't respect nothing but violence, man. They really don't. They don't respect anything but violence. And, you know, that's all they will probably yield to. That's all they're going to yield to. So, I don't know, man. I just think that money is a hell of a swayer, though. People can broker deals when they start losing wealth. I can tell you that much. People start turning on one another and, you know, doing all different types of stuff to try to keep the environment from which their wealth can exist upright. And so no telling what they will end up doing to one another to assure that they keep their wealth in circulation. For all I know, they turn into massive humanitarians, you know what I'm saying? Some of them super wealthy ones, they might start killing off all these genocidal maniacs, turning on each other left and right to keep the environment from which they can make money moving, as it does. But I just think that a lot of things could probably shift between now and then to make that obsolete. Which is what I'll tell people, man. Like, a lot of y'all are in a world where wealth equals power. I'm not sure that the God we serve doesn't have an entire shift to that reality coming our way, to where the billionaire's money ain't worth anything anymore and he's going to have to connect with people like myself to move around. That's not completely out of the equation when you consider all the lies that hold together wealth in today's world and how many people are doing things they have no business doing, relying on the respect for ownership to keep them in power. As I said, one of the things I see in my head is just an entire disregard for ownership, period. Like, literally, like, I don't care if you own it or not, type energy. It's going to be you versus me. Your ability to secure yourself, keep yourself safe versus my wrath toward you type energy. I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think I think it's going to be people picking up arms, them using atomic bombs or whatever type of, you know, missiles that would likely destroy half the earth. And in that environment, post that, yeah, billionaire, how your money gonna get you out of what that looks like when there ain't no consumers to buy anything from you because everybody's in the dark and it's cold? Like, how do you survive then? It becomes a situation where it's like, yeah, that's gonna work for a little while, but eventually it's not going to work at all. Now, eventually you're just going to you're going to be relying upon loyalty and favors, you know what I mean? And just sheer resourcefulness to even survive. This is why I think it would be very smart for them 1%ers to start destroying these bombs, these weapons of mass destruction. They should destroy those. Because if anything could potentially destroy the environment for which wealth controls power, it's what it looks like after them bombs are released and half the world is decimated because of it. Then it's just a matter of time before your wealth no longer upholds the same power anymore. When there ain't nobody to really market to, when that environment or culture no longer is relevant based on the reality of the environment itself, yeah, y'all would be wise to eliminate any possibility of that being the case. And I don't know, people they believe these weapons are what keeps them in a position of safety. I think that's what it really comes down to. Israel believes that, America believes that, some of the Orients, China believes that. It's that they have nukes and massive destruction weapons that allows for them to uphold the leverage in the world that they have. But once them bombs let off, not only do you lose that leverage in regards to having the bombs, because essentially they destroy everything and they're not in your possession, but then they also change the landscape of what the world's workings actually become. It changes everything in regards to capitalism and what ultimately it means to be in a consumer-based reality. You destroy that too once you let them bombs off. And a lot of y'all are solely reliant on consumer-based marketing. You understand what I'm saying? Solely. And those are the ones who are going to lose all their wealth in that environment. So, y'all can take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, if you like. I'm sure a lot of people look at him and say he don't know what he's talking about. That's cool. But I've learned over the years to trust my gut when it comes to certain things and just talk and let it be what it's going to be. The Lord gave me a gift of being right with certain things. My mother had this same gift in this regard, so I got it honestly from her. Sometimes when we talk about stuff like this, we just end up right. It just is how that works. And I'm telling you, y'all would be wise to destroy those atomic missiles, those massive destruction weapons that y'all holding on to. Y'all would be wise to destroy those. Don't send them out into the atmosphere either. That's not smart. Send them out into outer space, taking them deep space far away. That's not smart. They will come back to you. Or the destruction that they do out in the atmosphere will change your atmosphere entirely. You need to destroy them here. You need to dissolve them here. Well, I know that's what a lot of them are thinking. But we'll send them out to 7,000 miles out into 7 million miles into space. That's not smart. Because once them things detonate out there, and they will detonate out there, it's going to change a lot here. Guaranteed. You made them here, destroy them here. Or they're going to destroy not only the world itself, but the atmosphere from which your wealth holds the leverage you are comfortable with it holding. So that's what I'm telling you. That's a warning, man. That's a warning from within my spirit. I'd like to think that I'm going to be long gone before anything like that is even relevant. But too many of these superpowers hold nukes. Sometimes it's the good guys, sometimes it's the bad guys. Both of y'all need to get rid of them nukes for the sake of the environment that you rule over. We're going to destroy it all. We're going to destroy it all. So, yeah, man, that's what's on my mind. I don't know, man. I think that's what really keeps people afraid of Israel, if I'm being honest with you. Because they control over not only ours nukes, but their own nukes and probably other countries' nukes as well. People just let them kill these kids, because if they don't, they're going to kill us all. Like, that type of fear is what makes people fine with genocide, make people just continue to stand on whatever Israel decides to do. It's that type of fear. And this ain't the first time I said it. I said that at the beginning of the genocide, that I think people are afraid of their nukes. You're afraid of them. Your government, your American government, some of these South American governments, Egypt and them, they fear what Israel can do with nukes. I know it. I'm certain of it. I can feel it in my bones. That's what drives a lot of these people to let them do whatever the hell they do. But I'm telling you, people like that gonna use them anyway. They're gonna use them anyway. Where this is headed is people gonna want Israel off the map. They're gonna want Zionist Jews in the grave. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not calling for this. That's irresponsible for me to call for this. I don't have that in my heart. There are too many good people in the world that I have never been. I know that. There are good people there that don't deserve to be nuked. But I'm telling you what I think people want. After watching this genocide and learning how they're taking over this country and learning how they're doing different things, people want them off the earth. And what they intend to do when they're threatened in that regard is to destroy many earths. Many countries. They're going to try to nuke all of us. That's their plan. They threaten the ultimate Hannibal directive in that regard. They're going to destroy everything if they feel like they're at risk. And that's what I think most of these governments and these superpowers are afraid to hold them accountable in regards to, especially the godless ones that don't believe in God, and they do believe in the power of bombs though, and they don't want to be wiped off the earth. They don't want the environment or what it looks like when all of this comes to pass in that regard. And they think that these people, in fact, they believe and know that these people are crazy enough and evil enough to do this. They're certain. People who will kill children in front of everybody while we're all watching will definitely destroy the earth for the sake of their own asses. They will. And until you have control over the weapons that they harbor, there is always going to be a logic for capitulating to whatever it is they decide. It's always going to be a logic to that. Keep them from destroying the world. So I think that's a lot of what it is we're seeing with different governments and different people who are moving a certain way. Intelligent people who are in the know are bowing to Israel. Yes, Israel, do whatever you want. Yes, Israel killed them people. Yeah, Hamas is the worst thing in the world. Yeah, whatever. Everybody's going to turn out to be a bad guy, even the little ones. They're capitulating to that, not because they believe or agree with that shit, not because they're good little goy and can't wait to serve Israel. It's because they're afraid of these assholes using atomic bombs and missiles and nukes to destroy the earth. That's exactly what it is. I know it. I say that with a lot of confidence. That's exactly what's driving a good portion of what we're seeing here. So, I just want to tell all of you, God exists, and that should be the mission for the world, man. That should be the mission of the world, to be honest with you. It's to not just destroy the nukes that Israel has control over, but destroy the nukes that everyone has control over, anywhere, so that no one can be forced into this type of power ever again. This type of power that they now harbor is dangerous. It's very dangerous, and we're learning that lesson in real time, watching them wield it in the irresponsible and demonic way that they are. Nobody, the good guy or the bad guy, should have this type of power anymore. We shouldn't want it as a world. We should not want any one person to have that much power anymore. That's what I'm telling all of you guys. When we all overcome this Israel thing, and we will, humanity will prevail. We need to learn the lesson to say, don't let anybody ever have this much power ever again, man. Any one nation, any one person, nobody should ever have the power that these folks have, bro. To the point where they can commit genocide and people are going to be fine with it because they fear them that much. Never let the world get out of control like that again, man, if you want to see this thing continue to spin. That's pretty much what I have to say. My name is Bdf 44. I thank y'all for watching.